Hey, welcome to this new segment that we're doing that involves Cayden versus Complex. And what's the competition? Betting. Okay, everyone who's come from the mud knows you got to start with that work first. Then you got to double that, double that, double that. I'm not going to tell you the ounces and the sizes, but you know what it is. If you want to get to the keys, and this is what we doing right now. We trying to become billionaires, but we're starting with $100. So what we're doing is we're both putting $100 into DraftKings, and we're going to see who can have the most money. How long are we going to do this for?
I mean, it's going to go on forever, so we'll just keep seeing who's going up and down. So hopefully neither of us goes bankrupt. You know what I'm saying?
If you go bankrupt, you lose. And then
if you go bankrupt, you absolutely lose.
If you bankrupt, you lose. So that's it. So we're starting with $100 each, and we're going to make bets on fights, right? Until one of us loses in our app. Whoever has the most money is winning, right? But if one of us goes bankrupt, we're out. Then the other person can cash out, and we'll start all over again. Right. But you know me, I'm trying to make it double ASAP. Okay, but we're going to talk about our bets, and we're making picks for Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. and David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. But before we do that, Complex is going to hit y'all with an important disclaimer.
Thank you. All opinions and analysis in this video are for entertainment purposes only. Nothing we say should be taken as betting advice or financial guidance. If you choose to place a bet or any wagers, please do so responsibly and at your own risk. We are not liable for any decisions viewers make outside of this video. Also, remember that sports outcomes are unpredictable, so please don't rely on anything here as a guarantee. Basically, don't be a jabroni. Take care of your money, all right? Don't go too crazy. If you guys need help with gambling addiction, there's resources out there. Please hit those up. But this is just for fun. We're not betting a ridiculous amount of money here, and don't take any of this as financial advice or guidance. This is just two strangers that you met online talking about boxing and giving their opinions. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would just emphasize, we're not placing ridiculous amounts of money that could harm us financially in any way and prevent us from providing for our family and paying our bills. This is just some fun between two brothers who are trying to, prove to the other one he don't know what he's talking about. All right, so
and the money plays an important aspect here because everybody makes picks, but when you actually have to come down to it and it comes down to real money, we don't really see who's making smart decisions and who's not here. All right. So, and I think when we get into these bets, I think Cayden might have jumped the gun a little bit, but we'll see. Let's go and let's see what happens.
First of all, time is going to tell that Cayden's right. And number two, okay, people, let us know in the comment section who you think is making smart investments. So I'm like, Floyd, I made smart investments. What? All right, we're getting into it. We're not holding you hostage any longer. We're going to reveal our picks. So first,
what are we doing first?
So I can't even see because it's so small. I'm gonna put it up. If it's your bet, explain it. All right. So we have a $20 wager on Devin Haney by decision or technical decision, and the pay is $50.
Cool. So breaking down the picks. This is for Haney-Norman. I'm picking Devin Haney by decision, right? And my bet out of $100 bankroll, my bet is going to be just $20 on Devin Haney. So I'm betting 1/5 of my bankroll on Devin Haney to win by decision. This is my thought process. Devin Haney, to me, more likely than not, is going to win this by decision. I think he's going to win. I thought about doing a small bet on just the money line, but I think I'm going to just leave it at this because I think more likely than not, if he's going to win, it's going to be by decision. It's a possibility he can stop him. There is a huge line on like a plus 900 on him stopping him. And actually, I might even before this. Let me see if I'll put a little bit on that too. But at the end of the day, I think he's going to win by decision. I'm comfortable with that. That's $20. This is the reason why I say Haney's going to win by decision. Haney, to me, is compared to Brian Norman, a ring general in there. He knows the ring. He's going to know what to do. He's been in there a bunch of times with top level competition. If he needs to get in the pocket, he will. If he needs to run, he will. Devin's going to do whatever needs to be done to make it to that 12th round, and the judge is going to come out on top for him. I think Brian Norman Jr. is a good fighter, but I think people are amping him up a little too much, and I think it's a little bit of the Haney derangement syndrome is why they're amping him up. Because when you look at Brian Norman Jr., nobody's really heard of him until he, recently this fight, right? I mean, the Santillan fight, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He came in and he shocked them because I don't think he was a favorite to win there, and he showed his power, and he won that fight, and it was a very impressive fight because he gets the vacant belt for the WBO and becomes champion. Then he goes over to Japan and he fights the guy Jin Sakai or something like that, and he knocks him out as well. So now people are on the hype train for Brian Norman Jr. But in reality, neither of those guys are anywhere near the top world level that we know of, right? That we have seen. So I do give him credit for those wins. They're not against anybody that I think Devin hasn't already beaten on that level, right? This is the other thing. People keep saying, "Oh, well, Haney's going to feel his power. Haney's going to feel his power." Let's look at it like this: the two guys that he did fight, that we saw was the Santillan and the Sakai. Both those guys stood right in front of Norman. The Santillan guy, I don't know if he's Mexican or just South American. He was kind of like a get in your face, standing right in front of you and just try to like gut it out. He was easy pickings. So it was easy for Brian Norman Jr. to tap him on the chin. Same thing with Sakai. He came in, didn't look that impressive to me, and he was standing right in front of him, not off the center line, got hit with a clean left hook, lights out. Devin Haney is not going to be standing right in front of Brian Norman Jr. for him to get hit like that. Devin Haney's footwork, he's going to be in and out, he's going to be moving, he's going to be using his jab to keep him at bay. And from what I remember, I don't think Brian Norman Jr. is actually bigger than Haney. I think they're like around the same height, or maybe a little bit, I might give a little edge to height on Devin Haney. So all in all, I don't think that, Brian Norman Jr. does have the power, but he hasn't fought anybody like Haney, and I don't see him do what he has done to those guys to somebody like Haney. And remember, everybody brings up, oh, well, Ryan Garcia was able to drop Devin Haney. Well, Ryan Garcia's hands are a lot faster than Brian Norman Jr. I don't think that Haney's going to be in there with somebody who's, got this speed or this crazy footwork or anything that he's seen. So ultimately, it comes down to what can Brian Norman Jr. do? Can he get off? Can he set up his shots? Can he get them on Devin Haney? Which I don't think he can. So for that reason, I'm picking Devin Haney. The other thing is this, the odds are really interesting. Devin's the not the favorite. Brian Norman Jr. is. So there's a lot of confidence in there, and I'm surprised, and I'm actually happy to see that because I think it's good odds for me. I would pick Devin Haney by decision. You could have told me this months ago, years ago. I would have picked this by Devin Haney by decision. It's the most consistent, result that he's ever had. Then also, Brian Norman Jr. If you look at his odds on winning, like by KO or by decision, are actually higher returns for the money. So we'll look at those bets down the line too. But I think the bet here is minus 150, plus 150 for Devin. So it comes back a nice little win. I win $30 on top of my 20. I'm comfortable with that. I think that's an easy win for me, and that's going to bring my, I don't want to go too crazy to start off, but that's my bet to start off with. And that's what I think is going to happen. I got Haney by decision.
What you just witnessed is the real Haney derangement syndrome. The fact that people actually believe Haney might win by knockout and place money on Haney winning by knockout when he hasn't knocked anybody out in 6 years.
Wait a second, though. Hold on. Norman has been dropped by people. I saw clips where Norman has been dropped by guys. So it's not out of the ordinary. And Devin has been in the gym, coming up in weight, looking a lot stronger. So who knows? He might have something in store for Norman.
Listen, bro.
I hope he doesn't knock him out because then I lose my $20.
Brian Norman Jr. is training for a boxing match, and Devin Haney is training for his IFBB pro card. Okay, so there's a
bodybuilder.
There's a huge difference between what's going on right now. All right, well, Complex, thank you for sharing your perspective. This is my bet. So I placed a $25 bet on Brian Norman Jr. beating Devin Haney by KO, TKO, or DQ. And I know that typically fights, it's hard to knock someone out, but personally, I believe that Devin Haney's chin is questionable. I believe that Devin Haney doesn't really have trust in his chin. I think that all this muscle building and whatever is for the mental psychology to get him into the ring. But once he's in the ring, all that's going to go out of the window. Another thing about muscle, particularly when you're not used to it, is muscle requires a lot of oxygen. That's why if you ever see someone with a lot of muscle, like the more muscle someone has, they usually tend to get tired quickly, like Anthony Joshua, for example. You saw Deontay Wilder when he put on more muscle to fight Tyson Fury in the third fight. He was gassed earlier. And then you see Fury with the love handles, but the love handles don't take that much oxygen. And if you look at Fury, Fury can. So when you have that much muscle, it requires a lot of oxygen. So you're talking about Devin Haney utilizing movement. And to me, that's a bad strategy. If you notice, guys who are going to utilize movement a lot come in looking lean and trim like Floyd, like Terrence Bud Crawford. I actually think it could be a huge mistake for Devin Haney if he's going to utilize movement to be putting on that muscle. So for me, I think it's a safe bet that if Devin's movement is compromised, he's going to get knocked out. Another thing, I don't believe Devin's footwork is as great as people make it out to be. Vasily Lomachenko was able to touch him. Jorge Linares was able to touch him. Regis Prograis couldn't touch him, but Regis Prograis is technically flawed. And Ramirez, he ran from Ramirez, but Brian Norman Jr. has better footwork than Ramirez. And Ryan Garcia, who isn't really known for his footwork, even Rolly exposed Ryan Garcia's footwork, was able to touch Devin. So I really think that it's a strong possibility that Brian Norman Jr. will KO Devin Haney. And so I bet $25 and the payout is $81.25. I'll take that. So for me, I'm looking for the big bucks, no whammies, baby. All right. All right. Let me go now to another bet that I placed on this fight. Right here, I just bet Brian Norman Jr. straight up. And so this is kind of me hedging on the knockout. I think Brian Norman Jr. is going to win. But I also think it's possible that Brian Norman Jr. hurts Devin and Devin runs, and then Brian has to chase him down and beat him up for 12 rounds. So I just got Brian Norman Jr. winning the fight, which I put $25 on, which the payout, I get $43.51.
You know what you should have done? Because actually, I think if we look at the bets, the lines for him to win either way are actually higher than him to win just on the money line. So, and there's really only one. He could either win by knockout or DQ or knockout or decision, which is weird. I would have put the other 25 or some amount on decision win because you get even higher, I think a higher return. It would have been like a plus. It would have been similar to the KO one because I think the way the odds work, it's like he's plus 225 either way almost. So it's really weird that there's higher bets for him to win by either KO or decision than to actually just win straight up. The only other option is a draw, which everybody would lose, or you could bet on the draw, but like, you know what I'm saying, if you're making the bet. So at the end of the day, so I picked Devin Haney by this decision. Like I said, I think that's the more likely the way he's gonna win. By KO, if I could put a $2 bet and it'd give me back $20 because it's a plus 900. So I might even do that just to cover my original bet. I would at least be even.
You see that? You can bet 200. You can bet $2 and get back how much?
20. So if you bet 100, you get it's like 10 times. Or you get 20. You bet $2, you get 20. So you get 10 times your money by him winning by knockout. Which is obviously, I'm just saying, anything is possible. I think oftentimes, or a lot of times in boxing, everybody thinks is going to happen, the complete opposite happens. And I wouldn't be surprised.
Possible, but some things are highly unlikely.
I wouldn't be surprised if Devin comes in, shocks us because he's like, yo, everybody's been saying this, so I came in, and Brian Norman Jr. has not been tested yet. We don't know what his chin looks like. Everybody's worrying about Devin's chin. What does Brian's chin look like? Is he going to stand in the fire? Is he going to stand up to it when it's late in the rounds? Is he going to feel like I still got it in me, or is he going to quit on his stool? Is he going to come out like a champion? We don't know. So that's why we love the sport. So we got to watch it. But I think people are putting way too much on Brian Norman Jr. I don't think he has a lot of pressure personally, because I think he knows, like, hey, I'm just coming in here, like, nobody really knows me. But I think he's also like, yo, there's a lot. That's a tall task to ask him to do as a new champion, to fight this guy who's been fighting for world championships already for a lot longer, and then just expect him to win cleanly. But that's why we watch the fights. That's why we see it. You know what I'm saying?
There's always something that comes to mind when I hear people talk about Devin Haney knockouts. It goes a little something like this. I think it's something like, for the best sleep in the whole wide world, call my pillow. that's what comes to mind.
Also, I want to point out to everybody, remember, we started with a $100 bankroll. Cayden just bet $50 of his bankroll on this one fight. Okay, so if Devin Haney wins, he loses $50 of his bankroll. Just FYI, right? If Devin Haney wins, he lost $50. He's that confident. He's betting half his money on Devin Haney to lose. That's derangement syndrome.
You said you said that's derangement syndrome?
That is derangement syndrome. That is way too.
Let me tell you something. Scared money don't make money.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Scared money don't make money. Okay.
Hey, okay. I mean, this is exactly why we're gonna see over the next few months how the bankroll
show you how to make it double. Don't worry.
All right.
I'm gonna how to make it double. You see Complex talking
just like that.
You see Complex talking all that smack right now. Once I go from 100 to 200, from 200 to 400, Complex is not okay.
Hey, brother, I respect it. You got to go all in. And you're right, because sometimes if you just you know when you have a feeling. But I was like, yo, you bet $50 already. It's off your bankroll. All right, so now let's look at.
You know how they say the rap game remind me of the game. Okay. You know what I mean? This betting game right here remind me of the game. Okay, I'm on it. All right, that's all I'm saying to you. All right? You
and every other sucker who's on these betting sites losing their shirt. They're like, I got it. I just know I got it. I got one more in me. I just need another one. It's like, all right.
Somebody got to make it. Why not me?
Yeah, that's true. There's got to be a winner. Why not you? All right. So that's Haney-Norman. I think we've broken down that fight.
Yeah. We can move on to we only really need one screen for this next one. Yeah, so here it is right here. I guess I'll go. I bet $50 on David Benavidez to stop Haney-Yarde. So KO, TKO, DQ, David Benavidez. I bet $50. The payout is $83.33. And the reason why I picked that is because I do believe that David Benavidez will stop Haney-Yarde. Haney-Yarde is, again, one of the guys I'm talking about. Big muscles, require a lot of oxygen, tends to get tired and fades late. I think David Benavidez will keep his hand speed and his conditioning, and he'll throw. He a great combination puncher. I think he ends this fight with one of his flurries, and the referee jumps in to save Haney-Yarde. So that's why I'm picking David Benavidez to stop Haney-Yarde.
Yeah, I love Haney-Yarde. His camp always seems just like crazy, like a lot of antics going on. It's like the trainer's trying to fight and all this stuff. It's like, what is going on here? And I just love his trainer Tunde, like lions in the camp. That's all I think about is lions in the camp. Unfortunately, this lion's gonna get put down. I made the exact same bet. I made the exact same bet as Cayden here. I said Benavidez by KO. And honestly, I put the same amount too, because when Cayden showed me his bets, so we talked about this before we even came on air, right? And Cayden was like, oh yeah, I bet. I was like, brother, you put all your money already on these fights? He's like, yeah, I'm confident. And I'm like, bro, you can't, like, I was like, that's too much. It's like, what if you lose? He's like, I'm not gonna lose. I'm like, all right, cool. So I feel the same way with Benavidez winning by KO. And the reason why I put $50 as well is because if Cayden wins, we both win. If Benavidez wins, we both win. If he loses, we both lose, or at least at the same spot. The difference here on our bankrolls is going to be the Haney-Norman. So one way or another, one of us is going to go up or down based off of the Haney-Norman fight. So I got Benavidez by KO. I think, as you mentioned, I think Yarde, this is his kind of like last hurrah at 175 at light heavyweight. I think he's a good fighter, but I think he's a British level fighter. I don't think he ever really got to the world level. But good on him for getting these big fights. And I remember when he fought Sergey Kovalev and he got stopped. And he's a tough guy, but I don't think he has it for the world level championship. So I got him being stopped, and I think David Benavidez is looking to get past this and move on to the big fights. You know what I mean? Like I think he's trying to become. Unfortunately, he never got the fight at 168 with Canelo. I do think Canelo was ducking a bit, but I think also it was his fault for even losing the belt on the scale, losing it, due to drug problems. So, I think that was unfortunate. So he never really got to shine at 168 the way he should have. I think 174, he's a new man. I think he's going to win the belt here. And I think he already has eyes on cruiserweight. I think he's already even looking to win there and then go to cruiserweight. So, but I'm interested to see him versus Bivol and against what's his name? Other dude, other Russian dude who was champion.
Oh, Beterbiev,
yeah. I'm looking to see those fights. I hope Turkey can make them because I think those are great fights. And I could see, Benavidez coming out on either for either of those fights potentially. They're tough fights. They're not easy, but I can see him coming out on top. So, but yeah, this fight is it's funny. There's more. The real main event is Haney versus Norman, and they talk. I think the timing is gonna be like 7:00 Eastern time US for Haney, and then 8:00 for Benavidez-Yarde. Everybody's talking about the Haney fight. That should be the main event, really, because nobody's really talking about since this card was announced. I know they put Benavidez-Yarde as the main event, but in my mind, the real main event is Haney versus Norman. That's gonna be the what happens that night. It's gonna be
the main event because you don't know if he's gonna run a fight.
Hey, well, what you do know he's gonna win. So at the end of the day,
what?
That's what's gonna pay the bill.
Okay, listen, I just want to tell you, everyone, I put it all on the line. Okay, I put it all on the line. Listen,
you really did.
Back here on Sunday with no money, because if Benavidez goes the distance, I don't win nothing.
That's true.
I tell you what, I'm so confident in Brian Norman Jr. taking out Haney. I put it all on the line. You know who did it for all this Haney talk? Complex did it.
I sure did not. I sure did not.
A little 20 piece on Devin.
It's called managing your downside risk.
He's not confident in what he's saying.
It's called managing your downside risk. So you always stay afloat. You never lose. You never crap out. You're always afloat. But at the end of the day, if you double it up next week, if you're all right, then you doubled up, and I'm down to whatever. You know what I mean? So it's definitely gonna. I might have to get.
This is how you run the block, okay? You gotta run the block the way I just did it, okay?
Yeah.
Now, when we double up and we come in here on Sunday, okay? Complex is gonna be asking me for some work.
I might need to borrow some money. Hopefully things go this way. But I can't wait to see it. This is gonna be exciting. This is gonna be, once we get to see who's up and down, where the money goes. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be real interesting. So look, this is Cayden and Complex. What are you betting? What are you guys choosing? Haney, Norman, Benavidez-Yarde. Well, Yarde shocked the world. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Or does he even survive 12 rounds? I don't know if he's got the gas for it. But let's see. Let us know in the comments. What are you picking? What choices you guys are going to make. Please remember to bet responsibly. Only bet an amount that you are comfortable losing. Cayden and I can lose $100 and not even lose a wink of sleep. We're going to make that back easy, and we all our bills are paid, all right? You see the house behind Cayden, that's a nice house. He makes sure those bills are paid. You see this place, I make sure my bills are paid, all right? We don't play around with that, so please bet responsibly. Thank you guys for watching. This is Corner to Corner with Cayden and Complex. We out.